Guys, get ready to shoot for the stars with Acer palmatum Orion.
What's up, guys? I'm Corbin, that's Tim, and we're here with the MrMaple Show.
Yeah, if you like this type of stuff where we talk about Japanese maples and gardening, make sure you're subscribed because we work hard to bring you daily content all about these trees.
Now, this is an awesome one, Acer palmatum Orion. You're gonna love, everybody loves that classic red Japanese maple. I mean, that was the first exposure I ever had of Japanese maples, but this is a little funkier. You get what we call a witch's broom, which is a dwarf mutation. That's gonna give you an awesome, smaller sized Japanese maple, a little bit of funk going on.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a red tree, it makes sense that it came from Red Maple Nurseries. Dick Wolf of Red Maple Nurseries, he introduced Red Emperor, he introduced Moonfire, he introduced Red Baron, so many awesome red Japanese maples. This is one of his red dwarf selections, and it's very unique. I mean, it is a Matsumuri, so it's got that more elongated lobes on each and every leaf, but it has a shorter compact habit. We're talking 4 feet in height, about 5 foot in width in 10 years.
Yeah.
Sometimes almost 6 foot. I mean, sometimes get wider than it does tall.
I mean, if that gives you a little bit of perspective about the maples that are behind us, I mean, they're about 3 foot tall, maybe 3 to 4 foot wide. So, you know, these suckers are pretty old. And what I love about witch's brooms is just how it is literally, like, I mean, we talked about Bob McCaffrey, who is another expert on witch's brooms. It's a little blessing, like, in the garden. And not just because of the beauty, but because what happens whenever a genetic mutation occurs in a tree. I mean, it feels like you're just kind of like right place, right time, and it's just awesome whenever it turns into a great cultivar like Orion.
Yeah, I mean, you see this dwarf mutation just growing in a Japanese maple, and if you take a cutting off of that, you can have a dwarf variety. We've got a full video on what is a Japanese maple witch's broom, where we show you a witch's broom and a Japanese maple and further explain it if you want to look more into that. But they are blessings, and that's what I love about it. I mean, this is truly a blessing that you can enjoy in your garden now, because you can enjoy this dwarf variety in your garden where this larger original tree you might not have been able to enjoy. Now, I mean, this is so cool. I mean, it's got that name Orion, so you start thinking constellations, you start thinking stars. And it doesn't have your typical red color. I mean, it's got more of like a brick red color and green stemming and green leaf stems as well. And that just contrasts so well against itself.
I know, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, this has kind of got colors similar to a lot of lace leaves that you would see in the garden. I mean, maybe like a Tamukiyama, or maybe not necessarily Orangeola, but in the same vein of those colors. And I love the contrast and the gradient that it kind of provides across itself, kind of giving you a mix of maybe almost closer to cherry reds, and then maybe pushing out to some burgundies with a nice lime green inlay. And then something that is kind of a common characteristic of witch's brooms is a shortened center node, which on a palmate leaf, you know, you'll have a certain amount of lobes, but then that lobe in the middle, that kind of maybe like a leaflet, you could call it, in the middle of the leaf is rounded, and it kind of gives you a nice extra texture in the garden.
Now, almost all of the Orions in the nursery trade actually came from scions, from cuttings from our friend N.J. Acer, and he's in New Jersey. He's got this beautiful garden, and him, Ed and Debbie Shin just have the most amazing garden there. I mean, it's so beautiful. It's got tons of Japanese maples, but this is one that he got directly from Dick Wolf at Red Maple Nurseries and then got it out into the trade, just like Lima Gold. I mean, this tree was almost lost, but then Ed got it back out there in the trade. Now, one thing that he noticed on this selection is that sometimes you can get some variation, which is very interesting. Over here, I have Orion, and you see a little more ruffle on the edges of the leaf. And over here, I've got the exact same Orion, and here I may see a little more shortened center nodes on the leaf. They have the same habit, the same dense form. They actually go to the same fall colors, which can start off as a yellow and then go to an orange after that. I mean, you've got such some amazing characteristics. Slightly different, but it's the same cultivar.
Yeah, and like I said in a couple of videos before, I just love the variation that even the same plant can give you. I mean, it really just shows you how unique the the species of maple is, or the genus to the species to the cultivar to the individual plant. Every plant is its own individual thing. And I think that's what I love about gardening, is like you're always seeing something new. You're always finding these new things like witch's brooms naturally occurring in trees. And you really just feel like you're on the edge of something, or you just have something that's all your own.
Now, with these two different styles, they can actually change a little bit from year to year. I mean, this one may look more like this next year, and this one may look like this one next year. It's kind of crazy how that can happen with this one particular cultivar. But it's so beautiful, and I love the fact, too, that he gave it that name, Orion, which refers, to the constellation in the stars. Because you get some amazing, just dynamic contrast. Right now it's red, this sort of unique shade of brick red, but in the fall, when you get that yellow, you can see why this tree is named after the Orion constellation.
I'll tell you, working at Mr. Maple, I see a couple maples every single day. Close to, we got 200,000 maybe at the nursery, probably more than that, depending on what time of year it is. There's certain trees that during certain times of year, they'll pull your attention. Orion is one where I'm walking through the greenhouse any time of the year, and it just pulls my eye. It says, hey, look at me. And you have to pick it up. You read that tag and you're like, oh, Orion, that makes sense. It looks so amazing right now, whether it's the springtime with the cherry pinks or that fall time color with that electric yellow.
And that contrasts so well with that spring color. I mean, you've got this red color now, but that's starkly different than most other witch's brooms that are red that go to red in the fall. I mean, this one goes to those yellows and then later on to that orange. So, I mean, this makes it an amazing little dwarf Japanese maple to fit in a lot of smaller places in the garden. I think it's very usable because it doesn't get a lot of height, but gets some width, gives you that good color, dynamic fall color, but it's also a phenomenal container plant. I mean, you put this out there, you've got something that's going to just continually change and light up the garden. And it's crazy because when you see it turn to that fall color of that yellow, it's almost like you've got a completely different tree in the garden.
Yeah, man, I just love the seasonal changes that happen when trees are going on and showing us their beauty. And this is one, like I said, I can't state that enough. It is just so unique. And in a sea of maples, it'll pull your eye right directly to it.
Now, Orion will grow in zones 5 through 9. So it can go all the way down to negative 20 degrees during those winter months. And it is a beautiful, easy tree to grow. For a witch's broom, I would say that this one is probably one of the most durable and easy to grow of those witch's brooms.
Now, guys, witch's brooms are always occurring, but we have something a little special here. This is a witch's broom on a Matsumura style, which kind of lends to that wider spreading out habit. And I mean, it just kind of gives you a lot of options texturally with pairings. I mean, throw this with something like a Japonicum, throw this something with an Aminum style, and it's going to give you nice textural contrast in the garden. And then get a little crazy with that fall time color. You know that's going to be coming. Maybe pair it with an Osakazuki. You're going to be having the play of the Aminum on the Matsumura style. And then during the fall time, you're going to be getting those yellows with those bright reds. And it's going to look awesome.
That's a pretty cool color contrast. Now, that Matsumura that he's talking about, that just means that the leaf is more deeply divided. So if you're down here looking at the leaf itself, it's divided almost all the way down to the base of the leaf. Almost like a lace leaf Japanese maple, but not quite as divided on the sublobes. And so it gives a very interesting, texturally, a different witch's broom than many of the other witch's brooms that are in the trade. Now, I like yours with the Sakazuki. I think that's a cool one. But to me, I like Sunny. I've actually got a big Sunny back here behind us. That is a yellow Acer shirasalonum. You know I love, say, pair with the color yellow. And you've got, with Sunny, you've got a tree that leaves out orange to play off of this brick red color. Then goes to that yellow. And when this goes to yellow, it goes to red. So you play off of that yellow, keep that yellow in the garden in the spring and the fall, and you've got an amazing combination.
Yeah, guys, there's so many combinations when it comes to plants, especially maples with other maples. Show us some of your comparisons, your companion plantings that you got in your garden. You can drop those in the Facebook that we have, Mr. Maple Friends group. It's a bunch of plant nerds, a bunch of plant geeks, tree geeks. We all love to show off our maples, and it's a great place to learn and meet a lot of new cool people.
Yeah, make sure you share those photos there of your Orion and those companion plants. And we appreciate y'all jumping in today. We're going to always try to make this tree available. If it's currently sold out, you can go to the page on Orion and click notify me, plug your email address, and we'll let you know when it becomes available again. Likely going to get dropped through that 10 at 10 email, so you want to make sure you sign up for that as well.
Remember, take care,
God bless.
and have a great day.